it's too late, baby, now it's too late. Here we are with a review of the new Twice album, their second album, their Twice album, twice, two times. According to the album cover anyway, the album cover clearly states the second full album, but I actually thought they'd done more than two. But I don't know. I'm obviously wrong. I've sort of been keeping tabs on them a little bit. I see a lot of people say they're like the best K-pop group around by far, which I totally get. I think their music so far has been really good, really catchy, really fun, really energetic, similarly to a band like Luna, and they're definitely up there with like the global sensations in the world of K-pop at the moment, which is something I've been trying to get on top of more because it is just such a huge thing, and it would seem a bit foolish to not at least try and keep an eye on the genre, seeing what's coming through, seeing if anything breaks out and becomes the next like amazing band or amazing artist. While I will say there are a few artists that I'm liking at the moment, there's nothing really that's completely like blown me away, particularly like BTS. Don't really get the hype for BTS. I checked out one of their albums, didn't think it was particularly good at all, but at least Twice are dropping consistently solid music, because this album here I think is definitely good. You can tell that this is attempting to be their big international album. Not that they weren't international before, but I think throwing in these English phrases on some of the choruses is definitely an attempt to try and cross over into the Western world and, you know, even have smash hits on the charts, because we've seen it happen with K-pop. They're definitely probably going to have some hits from this album too, especially in terms of the production, where some of the tracks are totally reminiscent of some artists that have broken out in the UK and particularly America. The track Depend On You totally reminds me of some like teen pop artists attempting to break through in the like maybe mid 2000s or early 2010s, with that really summery acoustic guitar plucking in the background. It's really simple, but you know, you've heard so many songs that have that kind of like effect on them. And then on the chorus, one of these singers says something that sounds like it's in the tune of The Middle by Zed and Maren Morris, I think it was, that really big song a few years ago. Baby, why don't you just meet me in the middle? It totally reminds me of that, and then a drop comes in after, or like a sort of drop comes in after that, and you can definitely tell that they're trying their best to throw in all kinds of things, because some of the production is just really infectious, groovy, rhythmic dance pop, but then sometimes they throw in these like really out of nowhere drops, which feels a bit dated, I must admit. You can't really get any more dated to me than Go Hard on this album, which is totally like mid 2010s pop that was massive again in the Western world. The production is totally reminiscent of something Major Lazer would do. In fact, the instrumental sounds a little bit at points like Lean On by Major Lazer and Mo. The drop comes in, I'm underwhelmed though. Like, the track up until that point was fine, it wasn't great, but the bloody drop, that's like is just not really going hard, and I feel like they're trying to go hard here by saying that, and then it just kind of falls a bit flat. They play best to their strengths on tracks like Up No More, Believer, Queen. These are the best moments on the album, where they're not really trying too hard to be like anything else. They're just playing to what they do best. I mean, a lot of the members have really you know, like distinctive vocals that really work over this kind of production. I don't know any of the members separately or anything like that, but they are great singers and they have a lot of talent, they have a lot of charisma, and they work best over these kinds of tracks. Up No More has some of the best production on the whole thing. The entire track is just so slick, like the smooth sailing, like kind of rhythm throughout the whole track doesn't get interrupted by any random little bits, little shticks that they throw in. The instrumental is just great, and the same with Believer, where it's just pure unadulterated dance pop, and I think this kind of blissful dance pop is right up their alley. Queen is perhaps the best track here as well. I think the ridiculously catchy refrain on this one with the ba 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 that they do is great. The horns that are thrown in the production too, it's really good. Like, it's not too overproduced to the point where there's too many things going on. It's just the right amount to keep the track really, really bouncy and infectious. Maybe it's a bit cliche with the way they use the word queen, because you see it all over the internet just anytime a female celebrity does something that's mildly impressive, it's like, oh my god, yes queen, yes queen, queen. But still, I still think the track works for what it does. The shot clock track has loads of energy to it, but the chorus itself like isn't particularly very good. Like there's so much going on in the production here, it's so energetic and so like cluttered, and then when you get to the actual chorus you'd think it would go a bit harder than it actually does, but it doesn't really. Towards the end, I feel like some of the tracks don't have a huge amount that stands out about them in terms of the production. It's just kind of like straightforward pop type stuff. Say Something is a good example of this. Like nothing particularly makes it pop in a way that makes me go, oh yeah, this is obviously a Twice song. But I think the chorus is still really catchy and really nice. And then the closing track, Behind the Mask, which I can't help but feel is like a coronavirus anthem, with the way that they're talking about, like, you know, I can't see whether you're smiling behind the mask. I can't see how you're feeling, your true feelings. It might not actually be about that. It could just be coincidental that it's called that, but I just felt like it was some kind of reference to the current state of things, because everywhere you go, you gotta wear a mask now, man. Not huge on the production on this one. It's very percussive heavy, and it kind of sounds overproduced, like it's trying to be a bit larger than it actually is. But I still think, you know, it's solid for what it is. It's a fine closing track. Not as strong as how the album opens, because I feel like the opening track is another highlight for this album. I swear this one is so similar to Physical by Dua Lipa. The instrumental, the pacing of the song, and then when the chorus comes in, the way they're singing, like it's so similar to that song. I don't know if they took any influence from it, or it's just coincidental, but honestly, listen to it and you'll catch so many similarities between both songs. It's kind of crazy. But of course, you know, as big as K-pop is at the moment, an album like this clearly shows that there's a lot of influence coming from all kinds of pop music. So while some of it works and some of it kind of misses a little bit, I can see why this is kind of becoming huge, because it is very similar to the standard tropes of pop music, but it just has a slightly different flair to it. And you have these performers who clearly have a lot of talent, a lot of charisma, even more so than the Western contemporaries that have been flooding the charts for years now. But even without that, that's just a tangent I was going on there. It's a solid album. I think this is pretty good. Some of the tracks don't quite work, but there's nothing really bad on here. Like that, I was listening through, even if I wasn't totally into some of the tracks, like Go Hard, as I mentioned, it's not bad. Like it's actually a pretty solid track for what it is. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like Twice have somewhere they're gonna go with their talents. Like I feel like their best album is yet to come, and I feel in a few years they'll drop something even better than this. That doesn't mean to say they won't get huge though, because I'm just one guy talking about my opinion, and I'm sure some of these tracks are gonna blow the hell up. But anyway, still just how I feel. 6 out of 10 I'm gonna say. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would love to hear what you think. If you've heard this album, tell me what your thoughts are. Thank you for watching this review. Do hope you have a good day as well. Subscribe if you haven't already. Lots of reviews, lots of different kinds of videos are on this channel all the time. So hopefully you'll enjoy at least something. Thank you for watching. Have a good day and goodbye.